Flosstube, I'm back. My name is Barbara, and this is my Flosstube channel, Stitching and Tea with Bee. Welcome, welcome. I want to say a big thank you to those viewers who are returning, and also a thank you to all of you who have left such kind and sweet comments on my videos. I truly appreciate that. So many words of encouragement, people telling me the similarities that we have, sharing what type of tea they like, what they're stitching on, and I love that. That's exactly the kind of community that I want to build here. And we are off to a fantastic start. So let's just keep the momentum going. Share my videos if you feel so led with your friends who also stitch or like tea or just want to have some background noise on while they're cleaning, because I do that. Do you do that? I will turn on Flosstube and just let it go while I'm doing mostly anything. I don't really watch television. So anyway, and I want to say thank you to those of you who may be new and popping in to see me for the first time. Welcome. And if you find value or are inspired, or you see something you like, you want to hang around, I would appreciate a thumbs up on the video, and also would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and then click the bell for notifications of the next time I upload a video. That way you don't miss out on anything. Okay, so all the housekeeping's done. Now I'm going to be discussing what I stitched for the month of July. So in July we had a couple of things, right? We had Christmas in July. And I did only two projects for that. Wasn't really feeling Christmassy. Usually, Christmas in July for me is all about my card making. I'm getting Christmas cards ready for orders. But I have taken a year off from my card business. So I dedicated Christmas in July to Christmas stitching. And oddly enough, I really wasn't feeling very Christmassy. So I worked on two projects. The other thing was Midsummer Stitch with Lindy Stitches, which was a lovely virtual online event. That was a lot of fun. I wasn't able to complete the event. Something came up with family that I needed to attend to. So the second day of the event, I had to duck out. And then the first day of the event, there were some technical issues with the website. So, but all in all, it was a nice event. I got to spend some time with Cheryl McKinnon from Tiny Modernist, and she is one of my favorite designers, so that was really jazzed about that. She also designed a really cute stitch for the event. I haven't stitched it yet. I will, and when I do, I will share it. Now, I'm not sure when that's going to be because I need to order the fabric for it. I got an idea in my head, and you know how that is. Something gets stuck in your craw and you can't get it out. I tried hard to divert and do something different with it, but I keep coming back to my original thought. So I'm going to go ahead and flesh that out, but I haven't been ordering any fabric yet. I'll do that, and then we'll get back to that. The other event was Stitch in the Summer Olympics, which was an absolute blast. I loved it. I loved everything about it. And this was hosted by the Naptime Stitcher, and she's on Instagram. And I loved having those prompts, and every day I stitched on a different project. 2024 is my year of whips, so the prompts prompted me to go through my whips to see what I could plug into each of the little slots there. So that was a lot of fun. I was able to get a lot of stitching done and to touch projects that I might not have otherwise touched. And so that was good, and we will do all of that, go into all of that in the stitching portion of the video. But while we're here, let me show you what I got. Gonna tilt you down just a little bit so you can see my t-shirt. Stitch the Summer Olympics, and it is Most Whips Event Gold Medalist. That's me. So I got a gold medal in having the most whips. I thought that was so cute because 2024 is my year of whips. So when I saw that, I purchased this from Athena on Instagram at Stitching Goddess Designs. She has a lot of t-shirts. I don't normally wear t-shirts. I'm a dress kind of gal, but this is fun, right? This is fun. And so when I saw this, I said, well, you know what? I'm going to get me one. So I did. All right. What else? Oh, so it is August 20th, 2024. It's Tuesday. And in my section of Southern California, it's 103 degrees. That's insane. It's summertime. I always wonder why I moved inland. I grew up near the beach, and so we didn't have 100-degree weather. We just didn't. I've been out here for a number of years now. What is it? Almost 30 maybe, and I'm still not used to it. This has actually been a very mild summer for us, though. I think the hottest that we got this year so far might have been 110. Now, we've been up as high as 115. So, anyway, you know what? It's tea time. I want to say a big thank you to Sarah from @SewMeSarah here on Flosstube for shouting me out, mentioning me on her Flosstube channel. Thank you so much, Sarah. You guys go and visit her if you haven't already @SewMeSarah. Thanks again, Sarah. You know what, friends? When I was editing the video and watching it back, I realized that I did not share my planner. So I'm going to put this planner segment in between my intro and tea time, okay? Because I have to show you my planner. Anyway, this is for the month of July because that's what we're discussing. And I use stickers, stamps, and die cuts. As a card maker, I have all those things in my studio. So I figure why not put them to use in my planner. So we were kind of busy last month, as you can see, and I decorated this with Christmas, a little bit of 4th of July. I have my fall here for my Halloween stitches, and that is my July page. I'll give you a really quick peek at August because we'll look at that a little bit more next month. And here is August. A lot going on in August, wasn't it? Or isn't it? One thing I wanted to show you back here in July is I do list out my whips and then I plug them into the days as I stitch them. I did have a viewer, Susan, I think her name is Susan, who asked me to share what I stitch on what specific day. Back when I first got back into cross stitching, I did Merry Mondays, which was all Christmas, Witchy Wednesdays, which was Halloween, and then on Fridays it was Hive 5 Fridays, where I stitched bee themed projects. I have since amended that. I don't really stick to that anymore. Rather, on the 24th and 25th of the month, I will stitch Christmas because that's like Christmas Eve and Christmas. And then on the 13th, the 30th, and the 31st of the month, I stitch what I call Fall-O-Ween. Fall-O-Ween, so that is anything that is fall, autumn, or Halloween themed. I stitch on those days. On the 19th of the month, I stitch Juneteenth. And when I'm finished with this Juneteenth day, one of the pieces that I'm stitching, I will plug in another project that has to do with that as well. I will want to keep that ongoing. And then let's see what else. Oh, so Wednesdays I stitch the Gather series. Since I have the series to finish, I wanted to give it a dedicated day. So that it gets one day a week. That's every Wednesday. You'll find me stitching something from the Gather series. Almost done with that though. So then I'll have to figure out something else to plug into those days. But yeah, other than that, that is it for dedicated days. However, I started the Wizard of Oz tree from Tiny Modernist, and in honor of L. Frank Baum's birthday, which is the 16th of May, the 16th or the 17th, whichever day that is, I'm going to stitch on the Wizard of Oz tree on that day. And so I have a couple of other little fairy tale type things coming up, and I will plug them into their appropriate days. And as I do, I will share that too. So what this does for me is it gives me a goal first of all, and it keeps me on track to touch the things because I have many whips, and some of them, honestly, I like more than others. So I would tend to gravitate towards the ones that I like, knowing all the while that I have something else that needs to be finished up or at least touched for a little bit. So this kind of keeps me on track with that. And that's that. Okay, I'm gonna send you into tea time now. Okay, I am back and I have tea. I'll say at the outset that the tea that I'm going to share with you today was not what I originally planned for today. I planned my teas well in advance of sharing them so that I can get my notes and whatnot together. But this tea is an actual specialty because it was a gift of tea from my daughter's boyfriend who went to the Lavender Festival this year, and he brought me back 2 teas. I'm going to share one of those with you today. And that one is a green tea from Wild Orchard, and it is called Sweet Sorbet. But before we get into the tea, I have to talk about this packaging because I am a sucker for packaging and advertising and things like that. My minor in college was marketing. And so these types of things, you know, give me a rise. They excite me. Anyway, this packaging is awesome. Look at this. Very sturdy cardboard box. Says right here on the back that it is 100% recyclable paper and that the inner pouch is 100% compostable material. So I really like that. So anyway, the box slides open like this. This is a loose leaf tea, which is my absolute favorite. The tea itself came in this pouch here, little pouch here. On the box, it tells you the farming practices of Wild Orchard, one of which is bee friendly. I love that. And then it goes on to say other things, how the water conservation is another one, reduce carbon in the air. All of those things are lovely. And then on the back side, it gives you the brewing instructions for the proper brewing of the tea. And I've said before, I do temperature my water, and I do brew tea according to the instructions because I don't want a strong brew or bitter brew or a weak brew. Heaven forbid a weak brew, then you've wasted your tea leaves and your time, not to mention water. So this tea is a green tea. Again, it's a loose leaf tea. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Oh, before I get into that, this jar, and it's got a glare from my window there, is what my body cream comes in. And once my body cream is all gone, I give the jar a couple of baths through the dishwasher, and then I use it to store small amounts of tea. So this is a little over 1 ounce of tea here. This is an 8-ounce jar. And I just put my loose leaf tea in here, and it looks really nice in my tea pantry. So anyway, oh, that smells so good. You can smell the citrus in here. There's some floral in there, and this is how the tea looks. This is how it looks. Look at those big juicy tea leaves. That's what I like about loose leaf tea, right? Because it's not tea dust. And this type of tea produces such a wonderful flavor. It's aromatic. It's again, very flavorful. You can kind of pick out the different notes. And that's the joy that I get from drinking tea. That's the joy right there. So let me read to you what's in this. See if I can hold this up to the camera whilst I read to you. I'm sure I can do that. I can walk and chew gum at the same time. I want you to see that. So there's organic green tea, there's sea buckthorn, sweet blackberry leaves, organic papaya pieces. Okay. We've got organic pineapple pieces in there, natural peach flavor, organic mallow blossoms, organic rose petals. Oh, and you know that I love when I have rose petals in my tea. I often add them to different teas. We've got cherry flavor, natural cherry flavor. We've got organic mandarin oil and natural orange flavor. And I'm going to tell you, the citrus in this is very pronounced. not only in the aroma of the leaves, but also in the taste of the brew. I don't mind it. I'm not mad at that at all. This is a lovely tea. Look at how colorful that is. Isn't that pretty? And this is the reason why I wanted to share it in this video, because we'll be going into fall for my next video, and my summer teas usually go into storage. I won't continue to, I will drink this up because it's just a few more leaves left, but yeah, we won't be talking about any summer teas. Distracted by a bird, sorry, you know me. So let's take a taste. I've got this in my Rae Dunn watermelon mug. I have collected quite a few little Rae Dunn watermelon things that I use to display in my hutch. Anybody else out there in that Rae Dunn craze? I did that. I was a wild woman, running around from store to store, buying up all the things, and then the pandemic hit, and I wasn't able to do that. And once we got past that, I lost my zeal for it. So what I have is all I'll have, unless I receive it as a gift, because I'm not going out there searching for nothing. Anyway, cheers. Tangent. Yeah, this is nice. Now I'm going to be honest with you. This is room temperature because it is a fruit tea. It's a yummy green fruit tea. It is really good, but I don't drink hot fruit. Hot fruit doesn't appeal to me unless, of course, it's hot apple pie with a dollop of, well, never mind. But this is room temperature. It's actually kind of warm. It's just not hot like I prefer my regular teas. Green tea has a lot of health benefits. Now, it's antioxidant, it's anti-inflammatory. There's so many more benefits, and I could really go off into all of this, but I don't want any community guidelines violations, so I'm going to send you to Google to search the benefits of green tea. That's really all you have to put in, because I tell you what, this definitely needs to be a part. If you are a tea drinker, this definitely, green tea definitely needs to be something that you you consider if you like it. Now, I always have green tea. If I'm having Asian cuisine, I will always brew up green tea for that. And I will tell you from my own personal experience, I am a heart attack survivor. I had 2 heart attacks in 2016. The week of Thanksgiving, 2016, I had one the day before Thanksgiving, and then one the day of Thanksgiving. And I'm still here. And I thank God for that. I really do. But my cardiac rehabilitation coach prescribed me 2 to 4 cups of green tea a day. And while I didn't do that, I didn't drink 4 cups of green tea a day because I have a little problem with caffeine, and green tea does have a bit of caffeine in it. So I did drink 2 cups of green tea a day, and I could handle that just fine. I don't really do that anymore. It's more sporadic. I don't drink green tea nearly as much as I need to because of all the benefits that it has. But I tell you what, my cardiac rehabilitation coach put me on it for a reason, for heart health. And again, this is my experience. It's not medical advice. I'm just telling you what I did for myself. So back to the tea. It is delicious. I am going to visit wildorchard.com to see what other teas they have, because I'm sure they have something else that I want to taste. I want to thank you, Karen, for thinking of me and bringing me back the gift of tea. And now I'm going to take another sip. You know, it's not sweetened, but because the fruits are in there, you know, the cherries, the pineapple, the papaya, it does have a little bit of a sweetness running through it, and also a little bit of cinnamon. I'm tasting cinnamon, although I didn't read cinnamon on the ingredient list. There was something called tonka, and I'm wondering, I don't know what that is. I'm wondering if is it a bark? I'm going to have to do a Google search on that and find out what that is. But it is good. I do think that I might try a bit of honey in this. Yes, I think that would be nice. But anyway, thank you for sharing a little tea time with me. And now let's get into what I was stitching for the month of July. Be right back. Okay, now I'm going to show you what I stitched on in the month of July. Of course, in July, I did Christmas in July. I didn't do a lot of projects. So this wasn't feeling Christmas, but I worked on a few. One of the projects that I worked on was my Christmas list from Silver Creek Samplers. I've shown this before, but I did put in a few stitches for Christmas in July, and here's my stitch. So this is stitched on 14 count Country French Cafe Mocha from Witchelt, using all the called for DMC, and I added in the word mistletoe and started stitching the mistletoe here. I really like this one. I'm excited about trying to get it finished. It would be nice if I could finish it this year. That's always the goal, you know, working towards the finish, but I'm enjoying this one, and I work on my Christmas stitches on the 24th and the 25th of the month, if I'm not in a challenge or whatever, because that's like Christmas Eve and Christmas, right? So it gets 2 days. Usually just gets one because there's so many other things I'd rather be stitching. But anyway, here we are. I have seen people stitch this and they change the color of the car. I wish that I had thought about that because I would love for that car to be red. I think a big pop of red right there would really brighten up the piece. Then you'd have red, 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 just pops of red. And yes, there are lots of pops of red throughout the whole chart, but I think having that red car up there would have been really cute. I'm not about to change this though. I'm not picking all of this out just to make a red car. No, sir. I'm going to go forward with what I have. I'm happy with it, and we are moving on to the next stitch. So on many of my projects, you may catch a glimpse of needle minders. I'm not going to address the needle minders. They're there because I keep my needles on my work. But I will list them all in the description below in case you're curious. Okay, next project that I worked on for Christmas in July is somebody familiar to you if you've been here for a minute, and that's my Merry Beard Season from Lindy Stitches. I love this little guy, and we are closing in on a finish. This one is stitched on 16 count pistachio fiber on a whim, using all of the called for floss, with the exception of Santa's little hat here, where I used classic Colorworks ribbon red for a little bit of variegation, and dimension. So my goal for this one was to finish outlining his beard and start to fill it in, and that's what I was able to accomplish here. So you'll see here on the pattern, it says Merry Beard Season. I won't be stitching the words. I'm going to fill all that in with gray and white. I don't want the words, but I'm almost finished, guys. Look at that. He's coming right along. I think I just need a couple of evenings to sit down and get it done. You know, white thread can be kind of hateful. So I work on it little spurts at a time because it makes me angry, and then my stitches suffer because I have a tendency to pull them too tightly. Anyway, so I'll give him a little bit more work, and he will be finished this year. He is definitely in the running for finish. And that was what I did for Christmas in July. Like I said, I didn't do a lot, but that's okay. Still working on my pile of whips. So now let's talk about this. Stitch the Summer Olympics. I had so much fun with this challenge. I've never done anything like a whip go or those types of challenges that are out there in the cross-stitching world, but I may look into them now. I really, really enjoyed having the prompts, especially having so many whips and wanting to work through my whips this year. Having something to tell me, you know, work on this one and work on this one. And surely I could do that myself, but that's not fun because I know what I have to work on. And I would probably tend to gravitate towards a favorite project, say, or something that I just really liked instead of touching things that I hadn't touched in a while. So with that said, let me show you what I stitched for the Stitch the Summer Olympics Challenge. Now, we got these prompts, like I said before. Here's the first part of it. So I'm going to show you what I stitched in July. This challenge rolled over into August, but I'm not going to show you my August stitches until my August video, okay? Hope that makes sense. I think it does. Anyway, so here are the days and here are the prompts. And as you can see, I've penciled in what I planned to work on. And I actually noted what I did on each of the days, because some of them I double and triple dipped on. So that was fun because I was able to get in some really good stitching. I didn't spend a lot of time with these projects every day. I had a lot of other things going on during this time span. So I did what I could, and I'm really happy with the turnout. So let me show you what I did. I'm not going to go day by day and say on this day. I'm going to show you what I stitched and then kind of tell you how they fit in to the challenge. I think going day by day would make me a little itchy. So, but for opening ceremony, because I think that was important. Did y'all see it? I'm not real big on sports. I do like watching the Olympics because those are real people to me, rather than professional organized sports, which I appreciate. I'm not dogging it, but I like looking at real people, everyday folks. So I love water sports. I love the equestrian. I watch a little bit of track and field. I used to run track, but it's not my thing. But you know what? I really liked seeing Celine Dion sing. Oh my goodness. Even now, it makes me so emotional. I was so happy to see her. Anyway, let's get back to stitching. Because, you know, you guys don't know me well, but I can go off on a little rant. And I know if you've watched a couple of my other videos, you see how I kind of veer off to the right a little bit, but I always yank myself back. So I'm yanking myself back now, and let's keep on talking about stitching. So for opening ceremony of the 2024 Olympics in Paris, my goodness, I chose to start with a day of Jubilee by Silver Creek Samplers. Now, you've seen this before. I started this one this year for Juneteenth. And here is my stitch. Now, I will tell you, this one I used 3 times during the challenge, twice in July and once in August. Okay, so what you're seeing here is a culmination of all those 3 days. So looks like on my notes for July, juggling so many months, I put in stars and I worked on her dress a little bit. I also did some words and the heart for the challenge. So I'm happy with this. I would like to try to finish this year. I don't know why I'm rushing myself through this one. There are a lot of Black themed stitches on the market now, and that is exciting to me because back in the day, we didn't have a lot of choices for people who look like us or represented us in a positive way. So I'm really, really happy about this, and I appreciate Miss Diane Randall for charting this one. I love it. I love it, and I'm looking forward to getting back to it. So that is Day of Jubilee. Oh, I didn't tell you. This one is stitched on 18 count fog Aida cloth using the called for threads, which are from Forbidden Fiber Co. And I had mentioned in my other video, this is my first time using those threads. I absolutely love them. They feel really good in hand, and I like the variegation here. So this particular color here, I had a couple of people comment about this. on my Instagram. This is poinsettia. Beautiful, beautiful color. I like playing with the placement too. Like this is all solid in this one, and then, oh, I just love that. And again, back in the day when I started stitching in the mid 80s, 80, 86, 85, 86, I don't recall seeing threads like this. So we had flat DMC, of course we had Anchor, and there were others, probably Coates and Clark and a couple of others, but nothing that I remember that was so vibrant and variegated like this. So I'm really happy to see things like that and to be able to use them. Okay, moving right along for my next one. Okay. Yes, we've been here before, and I stitched on this Juneteenth day from Shaded Stitchery. I did this one twice, once in July and once in August. Oh, my needle minders are sticking to each other over here. And here is my stitch. Fold this down for you. Okay. So, according to my notes, I worked on this border, and I know that I did this, worked on this part of the flag. For August, I did this part. So, but again, you're going to see the whole thing because, I'm not going to block it out. Oh, I just hit my camera. Sorry about that, y'all. A little earthquake, which, by the way, here in Southern California, we've been feeling quite a few shaky shakes. That doesn't make me happy. But life goes on, doesn't it? So I'm happy with my progress on this one, and I will keep marching forward on it. I know, do y'all know Michelle Bendy from Bendy Stitchy? She and I talked or texted or messaged each other. There goes those teeth again. And she used this stitch for the entire challenge. How about that? So I told her that I actually considered doing that because I knew that if I did that, I would be very close to a finish. But there were a few prompts that I couldn't figure out what to do. As a matter of fact, there's a prompt in here where you have to stitch something with an animal on it. And so on that day, she wasn't able to use this, of course. But so I was concerned about a few other of the prompts that I didn't feel fit in, but that's okay. She did that, and she's probably finished by now. I haven't checked lately, but way to go, Michelle. So this is this Juneteenth day from Shaded Stitchery, and this one is stitched on 14 count oatmeal Aida cloth from Fiber on a Whim using all of the called for threads. And I just love it. Just love it. This has to be some of my favorite fabric here. I was kind of kicking myself because I thought that this Jubilee here probably would have been really nice on this fabric too. I like this fabric for this type of project, kind of heritage type things. What's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, so yeah, commemorative type things. I think that this oatmeal fabric is really pretty for that. Yeah, I like the light and dark spots in it. It looks really pretty to me. Okay, next thing that I worked on. Oh yes, let me move this one. This Juneteenth day from Shaded Stitchery. I really like this, and I'm so proud of it. I love the charting of it. And I love working on it too. So this one, I usually work on the 19th of the month because that's, staying in keeping with the Juneteenth. In order to get it a little bit more finished, I'm going to start doing like 17, 18, and 19, 3 days, just to kind of move it along a little bit. That was my original plan in my head. We'll see how that plays out because there's something else that I want to stitch on the 16th. So we'll see how that works out. But anyway, moving right along, the next thing that I stitched for the challenge was something related to summer. And I chose Erin Elizabeth Designs Bee-Scornu. You've got the daisies and the little bumblebee bees, and I thought that that would be the perfect stitch for this portion of the challenge. And here is my work. Okay, so I added daisies. I had already had the outline done and one daisy done, but I was able to get the rest of the daisies in. I still have a bit of work to do on this one. I've got greenery to add and the bumblebees, of course, and then I need to work on the bottom of the Bee-Scornu, and then I'll be ready to assemble. I've never made a Bee-Scornu. I have seen quite a few tutorials about it, so I'm confident that I'll be able to assemble one. And if it goes well, I'll show it to you. If it doesn't, well, I'll show it to you anyway and tell you what I'll do differently next time. But we're going to have fingers crossed and think positive, right? That I'm going to be able to assemble this Bee-Scornu, and it's going to be beautiful. Like I mentioned before, I bought ground walnut shells and also lavender buds that I'm going to put in here so that, it is for a gift. When the recipient squeezes it or inserts pins or needles, then it's going to also activate that lavender oil in there and give off a nice fragrance, I hope. So I'm excited about that, getting that one done. Next on the list was, slide this under here, just a sec. Oh, this is one that you've not seen before. This is the first time for me bringing this one out. And this is called Orca Bay. And this prompt was to stitch something with water. And this was the only whip that I had started that had water. So I pulled it out. What's interesting about this is that I started at the top stitching it, and so I was working my way down here, right, out and throughout the trees and these little hillsides. I hadn't actually gotten to the water portion, but because that prompted me to do so, here's my stitch. And I went ahead and started adding in the actual water. So I love this. This is stitched on 14 count iridescent blue Aida cloth using all of the called for threads, and the threads are all DMC. Now I love Pigeon Coop designs. They have quite a few things that I'd love to stitch because I like nature and everything like that. And Max from Pigeon Coop Designs has a new book out. I think it's called Stitching in the Forest or Stitching Through the Forest, something like that. I've seen a lot of flip throughs. Helen D. Visit Helen D. She did a marvelous flip through, and I had my pad and pen out, and I'm writing furiously the names of different charts that she mentioned. I saw so many that I liked. I haven't picked up the book yet, but I believe it's on Amazon. No, I'm not sponsored. I'm just telling you what I like. Okay, so this is Orca Bay. And again, like I said, I added water. Now, let's talk about the fabric for a little bit, because my friend Jean uses the iridescent fabric quite often. And she mentioned it to me, and I knew that I had this stitch in mind. So I decided to try this. This fabric comes from Michael's. It's in one of those rectangular or tubes, it all rolled up. It's stiff as can be. We'll just say that. And actually not my favorite to stitch on because it doesn't bode well in a hoop or anything, so I have to stitch in hand, which is not my favorite, but it's going well. It's going well. I like the way the stitches stick up off of it, and additionally, I like that added sparkle, which I thought would be really nice for the water feature in here, because it's supposed to be, we're in Orca Bay, so we've got a couple of orcas here. This is for my daughter who really loves orcas, and so what I do, I usually get a needle minder, and this one came from 1, 2, 3 Stitch. This is a Letistitch, and I think it's called Splashing Orca. So cute. When I am finished with this, I will not only give my daughter the project, but I will give her the needle minder. And that's what I do for my girls. If I'm stitching them a specific project and it has a specific minder, once they get the project, they'll get the minder too. And they usually put those on their computer or magnetize them to something in their rooms. So that's Orca Bay from Pigeon Coop Designs. Now, what do I have next? Okay, now this is the last one. This is what I stitched for July 31st. So that would be the last July piece for Stitch the Summer Olympics. And that is, we've seen this one before too, from the Gather Round series from Hands On Design. This was a club kit that I joined, that Kathy and her friends created. Was that last year or year before last? Year before last. And so we got a new box every couple of months, well, seasonally. And so this one is for fall. I skipped right over summer. I will backtrack and do that. But I didn't want to do summer. I wanted to do fall. So that's what I did. And so this is called Gather Pumpkins. And I worked on this piece here, which is called Quilted Pumpkins. And I finished it. These are real simple stitches. And I tell you what, you know, an evening or two and boom, they're done. So I stitched this on 16 count platinum Aida cloth with all the called for threads. All of these things, the cloth, the threads, and all the things were included in the kit that I received. So everything came together and that was wonderful. So anyway, I love the colors here. I like the dusty blue. Here, let me show you. These smaller ones I want to bring up a little closer. This kind of dusty blue with the orange here. I love that. And I love pumpkins. Pumpkins and crows. Look at these little crows. So much personality in this. So much detail. We've got Smyrna stitches here. We've got that split rail fence that I love. Bittersweet down here, which is one of my favorites. So, so pretty. So, so pretty. So, that is Gather Pumpkins from Hands On Design. And that concludes what I stitched for Stitch the Summer Olympics for the month of July. So what I wanted to do, because I was going through my things, and I wanted to show you something that I had previously finished, and that is this. It's called Sweet Summer. It's from Cherry Hill Designs, and this is stitched on 14 count pink iridescent Aida cloth, also from Michaels. It's not really reading pink right now. I can look at my monitor and see that this looks so, so white. It's a very, very pale pink to be sure, but it's pink nonetheless, and I have a whole little watermelon thing that I do in my hutch in my dining room during the summertime. And so I stitched this one up, and I was going to make it into a flat finish, like a sign or something. And then I thought, I think I saw Nicole Spohr make hers into a pillow, and I thought, well, I'll do that. Well, I didn't do anything. What I did was I ironed it and I put it in my drawer. So it's time to pull it out and go ahead and fully finish that. And when I do, I will share it again. But I did so want to show this because it's got my icons in it. If you don't know, I love crows, watermelon, and stars, pumpkins, little things for each of the seasons just kind of get me. So when I saw this, now this has been stitched now for maybe 2 years. Yeah, a year and a half. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing that, pulling out things that I previously stitched because I didn't have any place to show them. So I'm going to share them with you. So anyway, that's Sweet Summer from Cherry Hill Stitchery, and I purchased that PDF on Etsy. Now, that's it for the things that I stitched for the month of July. But I do have a new start. Now, I know that this is Year of Whips, and I wasn't going to start anything, and I haven't really started too many things. I think I started 3 things this year, but this one is from one of my favorite designers. You guys know how I feel about Tiny Modernist. Look at this. I'm gonna walk away and let you look at that. You can't see much because it is a mystery sale. And I am stitching along, or should I say starting along. I started late because I was working on the Stitch the Summer Olympics, but I wanted to jump in and work on this. This clock face is what sold me on this. First of all, I love Cuckoo clocks. I don't own one, but I grew up with a Cuckoo clock and I absolutely love it. There's a place in Southern California, on the way to Northern California, and there was a Cuckoo clock shop. And when we would go, my family and I would go to San Francisco during the summer, my folks would always pull into this place and let me just walk around and look at all those Cuckoo clocks. I just love the workmanship of them. And anyway, honey, I'm telling you, I could go on and on. Let me stay focused on my stitching. So the Haunted Cuckoo Clock sale is open to all. Part 2 has come out. This started in July. And so she's releasing a part a month for 4 months. And part 2 came out at the beginning of this month. I haven't started it yet. And I'm going to show you my stitch now. Look at that. Let me see. I need to make sure I'm full and good in the camera. First of all, it's a paltry start. I know. It's a paltry start, but it's a start nonetheless, and I'm happy with what I've done so far. But let's look at the fabric. I'm going to walk away and let you look at that. What? Isn't that so pretty? Look at the spider webs. Now, this is 16 count mocha parchment webs from Fabric Flair. Fabric Flair does a fantastic job with their prints. You see the back is still white and the front is all this digitally printed image. Love this. I think this is spectacular. I'm going to show you something. You see here, not very clearly, I know, but you will be able to see the fabric, the fabric in the actual clock face. And I think that is fantastic design. You can tell here that this Cuckoo clock is going to take up quite a bit of the real estate here on this beautiful fabric. But for Cheryl to leave this open work here, where all you put in is the numbers and that beautiful fabric will shine from the back, that's fantastic. I can hardly wait to do that. And that is my goal for this coming weekend, to get this done. Yeah, you can see I'm starting to work on this. So she's got 3 colors of 9s here. So it's like 920, 921, 922, or maybe the other way around. But that is just beautiful. So it creates like a shading without using over-dyed floss. This is all done in DMC. I'm using all the calls for. My notes tell me that I'm using Classic Colorworks Blackbird. Okay, I'm using, okay, I know what I did now. This is called for. When I get to the other things like the numbers and whatnot, I think I'm going to switch off to a lighter black because I wanted this face to be extremely bold, but I wanted these numbers to kind of fade back a little bit to really shine, let that fabric shine through. I think that's what my notes made. Hell, I don't know. So anyway, there you go. I love it. Look at that. I'm going to tilt it towards the window, get you some light on that. Isn't that pretty? And some of it actually looks like it's kind of glowing gold, huh? So pretty. So pretty. So that is my stitching portion for the month of July. Thank you so much for hanging with me here for a few minutes. I'll be right back. Well, I think we're at the end of our time together. that's all I have to share with you for this month. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope that you were able to get some stitching done. I know that that's what I like to do when I watch Flosstube. I grab my stitching, I grab a cup of tea, get in my stitchy chair, and I just let it roll. And I usually get some good stitching in when I do that. But sometimes I find myself just watching Flosstube, stitching aside. So, and that's okay too. That's okay too. What else? Oh, so we are coming to the end of summer, right? So the next time that we see each other may be fall. I am hoping that I can get a video recorded prior to that, but there are no guarantees. I do my best here. So for these last days of summer, enjoy every last ounce of this season. Eat the summer fruits, the watermelons, the pineapples, the peaches, the cherries. Enjoy all of that. Get yourself some good sunshine in. Stay hydrated. So important to stay hydrated. Wear your sunscreen. And yeah. Yep. Fall is my favorite season. I'm very excited for it. We will be entering the Burr months, September, October, and December. And that is my most favorite time of year. I'm usually more relaxed during those months, and I'm jazzed about what's to come in these next coming months here. So anyway, I will bid you adieu, because I know you have stuff to do, just like I have stuff to do. So if you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. That would mean the world to me. Free for you, but it means the world to me. And click like on this video. Swing back and see the other videos if you haven't already. Video number 1 gives a little bit of insight into who I am and a little bit about my background. And so you won't, you get to know me just a little bit there. And what else? Well, I think that's it. Won't hold you a moment longer. You go and do what you got to do. I'm going to do what I got to do. And I'll be talking to you. Okay? So you take care. Bye for now.